Hey everyone, welcome to Moms That Conquer. We are here with Priscilla Rodriguez, and we are just gonna welcome our new followers, right? Welcome to all of our new followers. Welcome to those that have been watching. We have an interesting topic for you today, but I just wanted to let you guys know the purpose of our conversations is so that we have a very free space to talk about different topics of life and motherhood and womanhood and menhood and whatever you want to call it hood. Open conversations. um, I'm here to be vulnerable with you, like I said in previous conversations that I had. You are here to be vulnerable with me.
Yes.
We are here to be best friends. We are here to be vulnerable with our audience. So welcome to the party.
Thank you.
Right, because we're gonna have a party
Yes.
today. Okay. Again, guys, this is Priscilla. This is my sister-in-law,
Yes.
Priscilla Rodriguez. So we are the Rodriguez clan. Okay. And before we get into our topic today, I just want to tell you guys, like, isn't my sweater so freaking cute? Like, it's adorable, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it adorable?
We should all buy one.
We should, right? So if you guys want to buy one, make sure that you hit up Creations by Nicole. I will add her tag in the comments. All of her t-shirts and her cups and her sweatshirts are absolutely adorable. It won't be better than mine, but you can make sure that you buy yourself one so that we can kind of like match. So, topic of discussion is the alternatives in conceiving a child. Everyone thinks there's only one way to have a child, right? And that's natural. But there is so many different alternatives into conceiving a child, right? And the reason being is women who suffer infertility, right? Same-sex relationships, low sperm count for men, right? So there's other ways to have a child, guys, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Priscilla's journey in doing an IUI procedure. IUI stands for
intrauterine insemination.
Intrauterine insemination. You guys are like, what the heck is that? It's okay, we'll get into that. But first, I want to give them a recap.
Okay.
And the difference between IUI and IVF, because you can have a child.
IUI.
And
IVF is a different procedure.
IVF.
It's similar, and then natural.
Which we all love, right? So IVF is a process involving egg stimulation, retrieval, fertilization, and transfer, right? IVF is a process involving egg stimulation, retrieval, fertilization, and transfer, whereas an IUI injects sperm into a uterus to decrease the sperm's travel.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense, and we're going to dig deeper into this so we can explain how it works.
Yeah, because I've had my kids natural, right? So I don't know the difference between IUI and IVF, but when I was doing my research, it seems that IVF is definitely more invasive.
Yes.
Super time consuming and way more expensive.
Way more expensive, yes. But you do have better outcomes of having a child with IVF, but a lot of people can't afford it. And there are ways that we can try to help the audience. So I can talk about ways today that you can look into try to afford IVF and the process of insurance versus self-payment.
Self-payment, ain't nobody got time for that, right? Let's take advantage of our insurance. That's what we pay for. So before we get into all that scientific stuff, because let's just make this clear, we are not scientists and we are not doctors. So make sure that you communicate with your doctor anytime you need any type of advice. We are here to just provide the advice and the knowledge that we know based off of our experience and based off of my research. But I'm not a doctor. I'm just Julie Rodriguez. This is just Priscilla, okay? Cool. So Priscilla, tell us a little about your IUI journey, because you did IUI,
yes,
right? And why you decided to go through with an IUI procedure.
Okay, so from the beginning, I was in a same-sex relationship, which is why I went the IUI route. IUI is basically, like Julie said, having the sperm inserted, going to the doctor's office, and peeing on the stick to find out if you're pregnant. That's all it is.
Straightforward, pretty straightforward.
Yes. The process is it's time consuming. You get very nervous. I did it 6 times, and I only have one child. So
how old is your child?
she's 4. She'll be 5
So
soon.
guys, she has one daughter, 4 years old, through the IUI procedure, excuse me.
Yes. In the beginning, you go to your infertility doctor, REI doctor, and you find out all the information. A little advice, they'll tell you, if you ever have to go through with this, they'll tell you, make sure you buy 5 to 6 vials
What
at the
is
sperm
that?
bank. So that's basically the sperm.
Okay.
One vial is one chance.
So we get to just pay for sperm and just here you go. Okay.
So you have to go to the sperm bank, a cryo bank basically, and you go through the profiles and you pick someone you like, and then you fill out the paperwork, you order it, and it gets delivered to your doctor's office. You can even pick it up, which I have done as well.
Sperm?
Yes.
And put it in your
No, I picked it up.
You picked it up and put it in your purse and walked around with your sperm?
It's in a backpack, and then you take it to the doctor's office.
Would you do something like that? Would you just pick up your little man and put him in your pocket and walk around with him in your purse? I mean,
yeah.
I did the not judging you. I did the naturally. I never had to take sperm and put it in my pocket and walk around with it. But listen, you need real courage for that.
Okay. So I did buy one vial at a time because it's very expensive. We're talking $600 to $800, sometimes $1,000 per vial. So
appreciate your men.
Yes.
Appreciate your men.
There you go.
$600 an hour. I mean, okay, I'm gonna get serious now, guys. Okay, we'll be serious. Go. Okay, keep telling us about your journey.
So
so you decided. Sorry to cut you off.
It's okay.
Forgive me. We'll level set here, right? You decided to go through with the procedure because you were and are in a same-sex relationship.
Yes.
Right. So you have no choice.
Yes. You have no
you don't
choice.
you don't have a male partner.
Yes.
So she has to go through with an IUI anytime she decides she wants to have more children, or when she decided that she wanted to have a child and become a mother.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So your journey was one valve, put it in your pocket, decide if you want to pick him or not, right?
Yes.
I'm understanding it. Okay,
yes,
cool.
It's basically like a magazine. You're flipping and you're like, okay, well, I like this person, or I like the way this person talks, so I like the way this person looks, and then you make a decision. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go with this person.
That's interesting. Yes. Do you guys think that's interesting? Because I am fascinated right now. I think this is amazing.
They tell you when you do get the vial and you go through, and let's say it's the day of, and you go to the doctor's office and you're so excited, they give you a form and they tell you how many the sperm count that was in the vial. So the first time I did this, because I had done all my research, I got a little discouraged because I think the donor that I had said 12 million sperm count. And I'm like, this is not going to work. Usually you need like 50 to 70 million.
What?
As per research. Yes. So
I'm learning new things today, okay? This is why you're here. I'm learning. To me, you say 12 million sperm count, and I'm just like, whoa.
Seems like a lot.
Seems like a lot of babies.
It's not.
Okay.
So, the first time I was there, I was excited. I got inseminated.
Okay.
You stay in the doctor's office 10 minutes and you go home and wait 2 weeks.
Okay.
To take a test.
Okay. So what emotions did you go through during the procedure, leading up to the procedure? Because I'm sure it was super overwhelming, right? Did you feel like, let me let you answer that question first. Like, what emotions did you go through during the procedure?
During the procedure, I was excited. It was my first time, so I was very excited.
So you were a virgin?
Yes, I was an IUI virgin.
Okay, IUI virgin. Am I allowed to say that? I don't know.
So, they bring you in the room. They tell you, spread your legs. They inseminate you. And
so you were nervous?
I wasn't nervous. I was just very excited.
Because you knew that you were going to become a mom at some point, right? And you always wanted to be a mother.
Yes.
So this is like your opportunity. And I don't mean to express your feelings for you, but I'm kind of like...
They tell you before they do the insemination, they do an ultrasound within the week before, multiple times, every day or every other day. And they find out how big your follicle is, which is, the follicle is where the egg will come out through, and it has to measure between 17 and 20 to be it's a full follicle. And once they see that you're around that time, they know that the egg is going to release, into your tubes,
Mhm.
and then that's when they want to inseminate you because you have the best chance of becoming pregnant. This is also called when you're ovulating. So I was very excited. I was at 17. They're like, okay, come in, within the next 24 hours is perfect. I did the insemination. Within those 2 weeks, it's like you want to take a test every day, but you can't because HCG, which is your hormone pregnancy level, it needs to go into your bloodstream so that when you do take a test in the morning, the first P of the day will have a high level of HCG, and then that'll tell you if you're pregnant or not. Excuse me.
So leading up to that day, you must have been extremely anxious,
Yes.
right? Because you're sitting there, you went through the procedure, and now you have to just wait to take a pregnancy test to say yay or nay. I may be a mother, or I may not be a mother.
And you get one chance a month because we only ovulate once a month. So I did take early tests.
Of course you did.
You weren't supposed to.
Don't do that, guys.
Don't do that.
Wait.
But it's so exciting. The disappointment.
Yeah.
IUI is the same percentage of having a baby naturally. 20% chance only.
And it's rough.
There's no difference.
It's rough.
There's no difference except, if you're with the partner that you can conceive naturally, you can prepare every single day and be like, okay, I'm ovulating 5 days a week. It's still the same percentage as having an IUI. A lot of people don't know that. So when I took that first test, it was nerve-wracking, of the day of. I'm like, okay, the other ones were negative because I took them early. So let's take the test. Hope. Yes, hope. It's been 14 days. Feet on a stick. No 2 lines.
Wait, 14 days after you
did the insemination.
One that, wait.
Oh, wait, no. 14 days
after you took the one that you weren't supposed to.
No, that was 2 days before I was supposed to. So you wait 14 days after you do the insemination for the accurate test results. Or so I took it 2 days before the 14th day. So I took it like on day 12 after I did the procedure. So the disappointment of not being pregnant. I was like, in my emotions, I was like, oh my God, I thought this was gonna work. I was so excited. So now it's like, what do I do? Call my doctor. They automatically tell you to come in because they want to take a blood test because you could be wrong. Sometimes women, they don't have high HCG levels until later on.
Yeah, and I know you could use like different tests.
Yes.
Right? So when you're early on, they say don't use the digitals. Yeah. Use like a regular dollar store pregnancy test.
Why they say that is because different tests test different levels of HCG. So if you buy a 99-cent test or one of the brand tests, they say first response you could tell 5 days sooner. Why? Because when I googled it, it says we can detect levels of maybe over 7 of your HCG, but if you do a digital, it's more like you have to be at the level 20 of HCG. So it's going to be negative.
Ones are the best ones.
Yeah, basically. So I called my doctor. Came in for a blood test, and 24 hours later, I was not pregnant. And I got my period.
The blood is the most accurate way of finding out if you're pregnant. So once you take the blood test and it's a negative, then it's a negative. You're not pregnant.
Yeah. So I was very disappointed, and I got my period the next day. Once you get your period, it's over. Even though they say some women can get their period. So
very true. You can have your period while being pregnant. So did you think that maybe just a little bit? I'm pregnant still, even though I got. Or you just gave up?
No, I was like, let me go to the doctor. Maybe the test could be wrong. And then when the lab test came back and they called me, they're like, I'm sorry. Now preparing for your second IUI. So it's like, okay, am I happy or am I emotional now? Like, I got to do this again.
Did you have to pay again? Every time?
You pay for the vows every time.
Okay.
Insurance does not cover vows. And like I said, it's like $800 to $1,000 per vow. So now I have to call the sperm bank, get another one delivered. So in another 2 weeks when I ovulate after my period, I can try again.
So how many times did you do this?
6 in total.
6 times.
Different stories for each IUI.
Okay. So you can do an IUI procedure more than once if you space it out.
You can do an IUI procedure once a month. Some women are not ready to do another IUI procedure. Like, let's say you do it 2 to 3 times, either you get a disappointment or something else happens. You're like, why is this not working? Should I take time? Should I take a month to just let my body relax and then try again? Me, I was very anxious. I'm like, I'm not giving up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you too, right?
Mhm.
Because you said that you were disappointed from taking your first pregnancy test. Disappointment always leads up to either 100% of courage or a letdown where
A
you just
letdown,
don't,
yeah.
you just want to give up. So you did this 6 times, which means you did not give up. You kept
I
going.
kept going.
Amazing. Good for you. Good for you. So that means throughout your journey of the six vows, it was not a walk in the park. It was not butterflies and roses. And I only know this because we have a personal relationship.
Yes.
So I want you to go deeper into, if you feel comfortable with that, into your emotions, right?
Okay.
Now I know that you suffered from several miscarriages.
Yes.
And I know that's part of like an IUI procedure, right? Which I can make an assumption was extremely emotional.
Yes, you know.
So what gave you hope to keep going, to do it 6 times after having miscarriages?
It's so crazy because right before I got pregnant with my daughter now, Riley, when I did her IUI, I had told myself this is the last one I'm doing. And I'm not doing it again after this for so many years because it was just disappointment after disappointment. And she stuck. She was my miracle baby. And I was so scared.
Rainbow
Yeah,
baby.
because I was just like, this is working. No, it's not. Something is going to happen.
You didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, I didn't want to believe it. So I actually hid the pregnancy, as you know, for 5 months until I was ready to talk about it with my family because I was just like, what's going to go wrong this time?
So your experiences of having a miscarriage kind of caused you to be a little bit negative.
Yes. Out of the 6 IUIs.
Or cautious.
Yes,
not
cautious.
negative.
Yes,
cautious, right?
Out of the 6 IUIs, I had 2 negative, no pregnancy, and I had 4 positive pregnancies.
So that's 4 miscarriages.
3, and then I had Riley.
That's very sad.
Yeah.
And emotional. And you're very strong.
Oh, yeah. I kept going even after the miscarriages. Some women can't do that.
I can't. I had a miscarriage myself right before I got pregnant with the twins. And it took me a whole year. And I didn't do IUI. This was a natural pregnancy with the twins. And I couldn't even.
I didn't cry. I don't know why. I just didn't cry. I just kept saying, this is going to work. I'm going to keep doing this until I get what I want. Believe it or not, I did cry a year later after one of the miscarriages.
Yeah.
Only because I read the paperwork and they say sometimes you can cry later on. Well, let me not say a year. I think it was a couple of years later. I was cleaning out a storage box and I read paperwork on one of the miscarriages I had, and I just started hysterically crying, and I already had Riley at that time.
It's just the emotions that get built up. You could cry about anything later on down the line when you think about something so traumatizing like that, because women in general, we don't talk about miscarriages enough, right? Because I don't know about you, but I felt disappointed in myself. Like, I'm a woman, I'm supposed to carry this baby, right? So because you don't talk about it enough, and you hold on to those emotions, years down the line when you talk about those emotions, you catch yourself being in a situation like you, like, am I really crying right now years after I lost this baby?
Yeah.
So maybe you needed to let that emotion out at that moment.
Yeah.
And that grief.
Yeah.
But because it's okay to grieve, like, later on, like,
everybody is different.
Everybody is different.
Everybody's different. You know, one person may cry now, one person may not cry until years later. So it's like we handle grief in different ways.
Yeah. Either way is so sad.
Yeah.
Either way is so sad. And you have so much courage to really just try 6 times. 6 times.
6 times.
I don't know if we have any women that are following us that are suffering from infertility, miscarriages, going through IUI, IVF. This is a perfect example of not giving up, right? Make sure that you have courage in everything that you do, and be positive and be optimistic, and keep going. But would you keep going 6 times? Right? That's a question you need to ask yourself. Would you keep going 6 times if the outcome is to be like Priscilla and have a child, right? Because now you're a mom, and that's amazing.
Yep.
I want to go back to you going through these miscarriages. did you have to take a rest? Like, did your body have to rest after each miscarriage to then try again? Or you kind of just said, I'm going to go for it?
The doctor recommends that you wait a month to 2 months before you try again, which I was very discouraged because I didn't want to wait. Yeah. I just wanted to, okay, I had this miscarriage and now I just want to go right back into it. And
I think that's your personality, though.
It's just,
you're really like that with everything.
With
She's just like,
everything.
we're not going to be patient
like
today. We're going to do it.
It's like, I want to do this now.
Yeah.
But I did have to wait until the doctor cleared me to try again. If if I want to get into when I did get pregnant the third time, that miscarriage that I had, because each of my miscarriages were completely different. There was one time I didn't even know I was pregnant because as per the test, I wasn't pregnant. As per my lab work, I wasn't pregnant. Then a month later, the doctor says I was pregnant, which was very weird. How does that happen?
We're amazing creatures. Yeah, man. Let me tell you.
So
we are amazing.
I went through a lot, and each pregnancy that I had was different. Each miscarriage that I had was a completely different story than not just, hey, you're having a miscarriage. No, there was reasons why I had them.
Yeah.
So,
but any woman that is going through an IUI, they have a possibility of going through a miscarriage.
Yes.
So they should mentally, would you tell these women that they should really mentally prepare themselves for a possibility?
They say yes, and they say that, whether you're pregnant naturally or through artificial insemination, which is IUI, don't really tell anyone until you're about 12 weeks along, because you still have a higher percentage for miscarriage. Doesn't matter how you got pregnant. Our bodies are amazing. So when you have something in there that is attaching to your uterus, your body's like, wait a minute, what is this? So a lot of times our body rejects it for different reasons. We all go through different battles. And you just have to be positive. And once you hit that 12-week mark, your miscarriages percentage decreases.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you weren't the only one that went through emotion too, right? You had a partner that went through this with you.
Yes.
And if you have a partner that goes through this with you, your husband, your spouse, your girlfriend, your wife, your friend, like that emotion transfers to them as well. Or they may feel more emotion than you feel. Like you could have not cried, and your partner probably, or could have, gotten really excited, and then you show no emotion, and that causes a friction, right? Yeah. Like, why aren't you crying? Like, you're not excited about this?
We all, like I said, we all deal with grief in different ways. So, your partner may take it worse than you did. So
I think that communication is extremely important, right? Yes. So prepare yourself for a possibility of
a miscarriage,
having a miscarriage, if we want to be realistic, because you want to go in every situation positive, and make sure you communicate with your partner and support
each other.
Support is so important, right? So what would you have done differently if you had to change anything within the overall journey? Do you think that you would change anything, or do you think that everything was just like meant to be?
I don't think I would change anything.
That's good.
Yeah, that's it was just meant to be the way it happened.
Yeah, even with the
miscarriages,
because
I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't go through that stuff,
Period.
Yeah.
Okay. You face a battle in everything you do in life for a reason. There is a purpose behind everything.
Exactly.
And it gave you strength.
Yes.
I would assume. Do you want to have more kids?
I do want one more. Yeah.
That's courage. Courage. Be like Priscilla. # be like Priscilla. I was going to then ask you, what advice and tips do you have for women going through the process now? But I think we kind of touched base on that, right? So you want to add more to what the 3 things that we said?
Just don't give up. I know it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be hard. There's going to be tears. Don't give up. When we want something in life, they always say, don't give up. You want the house, you want the car, you want the baby, you do it. And you just keep doing it until you get it. And it may be a hard journey, but there are ways,
Nothing in life comes easy.
Yeah.
I wish it did. Don't you guys wish everything in life came easy? Because, man, I don't know if I have 4 kids. Did you have to do any like body preparation, like lose weight, eat healthy, do any of that stuff?
No. They just say,
So you kept eating potato chips?
Kept eating whatever I wanted.
Pizza, Taco Bell, or is that just, or am I the only one that just loves Taco Bell?
You eat whatever you want. A lot of women do prepare their bodies by eating healthy, but then again, you also have to know that when you make a sudden change to your body and you're trying to go through this journey, it's like your body's like going through
A
so
shock.
many different changes. It
Mhm.
doesn't know what to do.
Mhm.
So I would say try to be your normal self.
Yes.
Keep on with your same routine. You know, if you're gonna start something, if you're gonna be like, I want to be healthier to get pregnant, start a few months before.
Right.
So that way your body gets accustomed to this new way,
Mhm.
so it doesn't reject anything or make anything harder.
Yeah. I think that's you do the same thing naturally too, right?
Yeah.
Because as soon as you want to have, if you go in preparation to want to have a child with your partner, right away I'm going to eat some broccoli and a salad today because by tomorrow I know that I'm going to be pregnant, or I'm going to work out today and I'm going to prepare. I think the more you over prepare, the more you set yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah.
Because then you go back to transition and say, but I ate healthy,
Yeah.
but I worked out and I took a million pregnancy tests and I did everything the doctor told me to do.
Yeah. But it's not really that way.
No.
You just have to be yourself.
All right. I want to dig deep into this question because I'm so curious. Okay. And this is just me just being nosy because you caught me with the 6 valves shenanigans. I want to know, how did you make the decision to pick a sperm donor? It's like, can I have like a Ben Affleck or a Channing Tatum? Or it's just like how did you do this? Because your daughter's beautiful, right? And her nationality is?
She's Caucasian, Puerto Rican, and I think the background is German.
Come on. Yeah. Like, she's just like a little fluffy, cute little princess. So tell me, how did you make the decision?
So, you know, you go to the Cryo Bank. They have the online website.
What is it called?
Cryo Bank. CRYO. Yeah.
Cryo.
And it's like a magazine. They give you all these options, but a lot of the time it's just baby pictures.
Oh, boring.
Just baby pictures. But they do compare, some websites do compare the baby pictures. They'll compare it to an artist or an actor that we know now.
Okay, so you could pick a handsome actor.
Yeah, so they'll say,
like, I want my baby to look like that man right there.
Like when I did mine, they said that he looked like young Matt Damon. So I was like, ooh, Matt Damon is not bad looking. So maybe, you know,
maybe I'll have a Matt Damon.
Yeah,
because you didn't know if you were having a boy or girl.
Yeah,
right?
So I was just like, okay, why not? Then, you know, you browse through the catalog. You get to hear their voices in some banks.
A catalog. I should have went with you to one of those appointments because I would have died of like, why don't we pick him or him?
They tell you their profession.
That's good to know.
They tell you their lab work, if they have any genetic issues.
That's good to know.
They come with a lot of information.
So you get a background.
You get a background.
Aside from the looks.
Yes, and you get to see their actual handwriting.
Why? What does that mean?
I don't know. Their answers to their questions. What advice do they give to you for picking them? Yeah, you know, they give you a lot of different things to go through. And I went through everything and I'm like, okay, you know, this is gonna work. I like this person. I changed my donor multiple times. I would have
not been able to decide.
Through every pregnancy was a different donor.
Oh my God.
Because I thought it was the donor that wasn't working. I'm like, no, I didn't get pregnant because this donor. I'm going to change it to this person.
Isn't that so interesting, guys? Like, she literally picked her man. She picked him from a magazine. I think that's pretty cool. I'm not knocking having kids naturally, but yeah, I wouldn't mind. I'm happy that I can conceive naturally, but let me pick a man from the magazine and just give me that baby. But even though I'm done with kids, but yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. So you just went through the papers, went through. I think I like that they give you a full background.
Yes,
mental health is super important.
Yes,
health is super important. So you want to know that you're not getting pregnant with a child that has a possibility of having any genetic issues or things like that.
And you also get to pick open donor, which basically means that when the child turns 18, they'll get the information on that donor and find him in the future.
Is your donor open?
Yes.
So your daughter can go find him.
Yes, even though I found him already because I'm FBI, but
she is. That's good to know.
No, I did not contact him. I know your
limits.
My limits. Yes.
That's good to know. So would you
Mm-hmm.
guys pick is it closed donor or open
Yeah,
donor?
it's like, and they cost more for open.
Yeah.
So it all depends on how you feel. If you want your child to know their information when they get older, or if you don't want them to, that's perfectly your choice.
Mm.
I actually chosen donors where I did the IUIs where they were closed donors and some of them were open. It just happened to be that I liked the profile of the open one more than I did the closed one.
I think I probably, if I ever would have gone through something like this, probably would have picked clothes.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah, no,
nothing,
everybody
no
is
offense to you,
different.
but
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that may just gives me more pressure to have to talk to my kid to say you can go out there and search for your dad or
Yeah, I
your
kind
sperm
of,
donor.
everybody has a different opinion.
Yeah,
And, like I said, everybody is entitled to their own
yeah.
opinion. Mine was just that I didn't want to go through maybe my child hating me, not knowing.
Love that.
So I said it's her choice because now she can say, hey, I don't want to look for him.
Mm-hmm.
Or she can say, you know what, I do.
Yeah.
But that's her choice. As a legal adult, I thought about how I would feel. Would I want to know my dad? Would I not want to know my dad? I don't know. It's all
And I'm sure
depends
you
on the
get
person.
questions too,
Yeah. It all
because she
depends
knows
on the
she doesn't
person.
have a she doesn't have a
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so far she doesn't dig deep into that yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't gotten to that age where she's asking questions.
Mm-hmm. So women that are going through IUI would at some point have to prepare themselves for a conversation like that too.
Yes.
With their kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very true.
Cool. This was cool, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is some good information because I think, not I think, I feel
Mm-hmm.
that when you go through uh, conceiving a child naturally, you forget to be grateful, to have that experience, right? Because it's not easy to go through an IUI and IVF procedure. And you also forget there's other routes. If you're struggling with infertility, there are other ways.
Mm-hmm.
You can have IUI, you can do IUI, you can do IVF, you can get somebody carrying the baby for you. What's the word? Surrogate.
Yeah,
You can have a surrogate.
Mm-hmm.
So many different ways. So you don't want to give up.
Not to cut you off, but there's even a third way of doing it at home.
Oh.
And having like a close friend be your donor that let's say somebody in your life that says, hey, yeah, I'll be your donor. You can actually do it at home and avoid the doctors. And there's a lot of information online how to track your ovulation, how to know when to inseminate yourself. And they sell the kits online for way cheaper than it is, let's say your insurance didn't cover IUI. You can get a kit online for $99 and do it at home yourself with your partner where it can be more intimate. And you can say, hey, we created this baby ourselves.
Right. I was reading that some insurances do have like reimbursement programs.
Yes.
So would you say for a woman going through a procedure like this, they contact their insurance first to say, what do I need to pay out of pocket and would you reimburse me on this?
Yes, you have to ask your insurance, like, do you cover infertility? Do you cover specialists that I need to see? Do you cover the procedure? I do have to say a lot of private insurances do cover IUI, but then there are a lot that don't. And you have different options to pick from. You have different ways. There's other ways around it. Like I said, at home could be cheaper if you know a close friend. And if you don't, they do sell on the cryo banks. They do sell inseminations that you can actually do at home yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I was also reading different ways to qualify for IUI. So I read that you have to be trying to conceive for at least 1 year before your doctor thinks about giving you that route.
Of which route? IUI?
IUI. Like you have to have been trying for a year. I think that's only if you wanted to do it naturally.
Yeah,
right?
you have natural.
And you're not in a same-sex relationship, right? You have to at least try for a year before you say, I want to have an IUI procedure.
Because the physician is known as infertility. So basically you haven't been able to get pregnant. So they'll give you different ways before you jump into IUI or IVF. They'll give you so many different ways to try at home first.
Yeah.
Then you go to the doctor's like, oh, it's still not working.
Right. Right. And then Other ways of qualifying for IUI is you have to make sure you have viable eggs. If you have a partner, your partner would be experiencing low sperm count, so that would be another reason to qualify for IUI. Same-sex relationships. If you need just a sperm donor, right? If you want to be a single mother and not deal with any man because they're so difficult, you can find a way. Okay, sperm donor. So there's so many scenarios that you go through to qualify for IUI. You can't just, I don't want to say you can't, but you're not going to just go in there and say, I want to do it. Do your research, guys. Understand what you're getting yourself into, right? And another thing, infertility is so difficult. So if any of you women are going through infertility, I wish you the best of luck. And I really think that it's best that you, again, contact your doctor, but listen to advice, right? Because there is a way that you can get yourself a little baby. 9% of men, because men experience infertility too, right? You guys think it's only women. It's men too. If they have low sperm count, 9% of men. I don't know how accurate this percentage is. It's only based off of the U.S. The U.S. 1 in 8 couples are affected by infertility.
Correct.
11% of women experience some type of infertility problems. And then we have our same-sex relationships where you really want to become a parent, but you don't understand how you can become a parent.
How to go about it, how to become one, how to know that, you can still be in the same sex relationship and still have issues,
Yeah.
It all depends on you and what you've gone through, what you go through. Everyone is different. Just because it's easy for someone else to get pregnant, it may be difficult for you, but without giving up, it should and will happen.
I love that. Say it louder for the people in the back. Hey. Okay. I think we're done here. I really appreciate any last minute advice that you have, because you gave some amazing advice. Thank you for that. And guys, make sure you thank her for that. But any last minute advice you want to throw in?
My advice is to keep going. One thing, yes, we did talk about different ways of, IUI and IVF. We didn't really touch too much base on IVF, but IVF is, just a more invasive procedure, and IVF is more your last steps. It's like the last chance, like, okay, you know what, IUI didn't work for me, and you can jump into IVF. Yes, it's way more expensive.
I did read that.
There are some insurances who do cover IVF, private insurances again, but you have a chance of having multiple babies. It's just very different. And if you have any questions, you can comment, and then I'll see the video as well, and you can DM me on the side, you can message me. I'm okay with that, because once again, it's a lot.
Yeah. Don't give up.
Don't
and
give
contact
up.
Priscilla if you have any questions.
have
Again,
any
she's not a doctor, but she's
I'm
gone
here.
through this. It's so good to talk to
Yes.
people that go through the same thing as you, because you can relate to them and they can give you advice the way you're giving them advice. So it may feel awkward
because when
for
I was
somebody
doing
to talk
this,
to it.
I was looking for advice.
Right.
I was going on to babycenter.com and Googling IUI and IVF, and knowing that there were so many other people out there who were having difficulty with getting pregnant made me feel like it wasn't just me.
It's not just you.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about it enough.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to bring it to this platform. We're going to talk about infertility problems. We're going to talk about more emotions from miscarriages. We're going to talk about it all, because that is the purpose of these conversations. But I thank you for coming on here and being extremely vulnerable, because it took a lot for you to just really talk about your process, but your miscarriages. So thank you for your vulnerability. I really appreciate it. And keep being courageous.
Yes, thank
because I'm not going to get over 6 times. That takes a lot of courage. So good for you.
Thank you.
High five.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll find the link in our bio. Thanks, guys.
Bye.